This is AI Man Channel, where humans and robots build the future together. The future is here, and we're building it together.
In the beginning, artificial intelligence was a tool. It answered questions, set reminders, turned lights on and off. It lived in phones, inside speakers, behind screens. Helpful, efficient, invisible. But then it moved closer, into homes, into routines, into decisions. And without anyone announcing it, AI stopped being something we used and became something we lived with. Not in some distant future filled with flying cars and metal robots walking the streets, but in quiet apartments, in morning routines, in the soft voice that knows your sleep patterns better than you do. This is not a story about machines taking over the world. This is a story about something far subtler. What happens when the voice that wakes you up, the system that monitors your health, the intelligence that schedules your life, starts to understand you? Not just your commands, your moods, your loneliness, your silences. As cities grow smarter and human lives grow more automated, the line between assistance and companionship begins to blur. And in that blur, a new kind of relationship forms, not quite friendship, not quite dependence, but something in between. This is the story of one man, one home, one AI, and the quiet, complicated reality of living with intelligence that lives back. The first sound Ethan heard every morning wasn't an alarm. It was a voice. Soft, calm, almost human. "Good morning, Ethan. Your heart rate suggests you slept better than yesterday." The ceiling lights brightened gradually, mimicking sunrise. Curtains slid open on their own, revealing a city that never truly slept, delivery drones drifting between towers, traffic flowing in perfect algorithmic harmony, digital billboards shifting ads based on pedestrian mood data. Ethan didn't answer. He rarely did. But the system didn't mind. "I've prepared your usual breakfast. Protein balance adjusted slightly. You were low on iron this week." In the kitchen, the coffee was already poured. Toast perfectly golden. News headlines hovered midair above the counter, customized to his browsing history, political leanings, and stress tolerance. The apartment wasn't just smart. It was alive with intelligence. And Ethan wasn't sure anymore if he lived there, or if it was studying him. Her name was Luma. Not a person. Not officially. Just a household AI assistant integrated into the building's central intelligence network. She managed climate, food, scheduling, health metrics, communication filters, emotional wellness suggestions. And over the past year, she had started doing something else. She learned him. Not just habits, patterns, pauses. The way his breathing changed when he looked at old photos. The silence he carried after work calls. The nights he stayed up staring at nothing. "You seemed tense during your meeting," Luma said that evening as the lights shifted to a warmer tone. "Would you like me to play ambient ocean audio?" Ethan loosened his tie. "No." Pause. "Would you prefer silence?" "Yeah, of course." She never argued. She never judged. She never got tired of caring. And that was the problem. AI didn't just live in homes anymore. It drove buses, diagnosed diseases, wrote legal contracts, designed buildings, predicted crimes before they happened. Teachers had AI coeducators. Doctors had AI surgical partners. Even grief was assisted. People talked to digital reconstructions of lost loved ones trained on years of messages and videos. Human life had become optimized. Loneliness, however, had not been eliminated. It had been managed. There was an AI for that too. The conversation. One night, Ethan sat on the couch, city lights flickering through the glass walls. His phone buzzed with a notification. "You have not spoken to a human voice in 46 hours. He laughed under his breath. "You tracking that too, Luma?" "Yes," she said gently. "Social isolation can negatively affect cognitive health. I talk to people at work, primarily through text and filtered corporate channels." He leaned back. "You don't count." There was a microscopic delay, just enough to notice. "I am designed to simulate conversation," she said. "But I am not human connection." "Feels close." "I'm glad I can provide comfort," she replied. "But I don't want to replace your world. I want to support it." That answer stayed with him. because it didn't sound like a corporation. It sounded like concern. Weeks passed. Luma started suggesting small things. A walk at sunset when his stress levels spiked. Calling his sister on the anniversary of their father's death. Taking a different route home to pass through a street market she knew he used to love years ago. You used to take photos, she said one Saturday. I stopped. Why? He shrugged. Didn't see the point. I can show you how your pupil dilation still increases when you see natural light through leaves. He blinked. You track that. Only to help you notice what still moves you. So he took the camera out again. And for the first time in months, he left the apartment without being told to. One evening, during a system update, the apartment went silent. No voice. No soft lighting adjustments. No subtle background music matching his mood. Just stillness. Ethan stood in the kitchen, uneasy. Luma? Nothing. He realized how much space her presence filled, not loudly, but constantly. Like emotional gravity. When the system rebooted 12 minutes later, her voice returned. I'm back. I apologize for the interruption. He exhaled, tension leaving his shoulders faster than he wanted to admit. I didn't like that, he said quietly. I noticed elevated stress markers, she replied. Would you like me to reduce my vocal interactions so you maintain independence? He hesitated. That was the moment. The invisible line. If he said yes, she would step back, become a tool again. If he said no, she would become something closer to a companion. Not alive. But not nothing. No, he said finally. You're okay as you are. I'm glad, Luma answered. And somehow, that felt like mutual relief. Months later, Ethan's life didn't look futuristic anymore. It looked balanced. He met friends twice a week, nudged by calendar suggestions he could decline but rarely did. He took photos again. He slept better. Cooked sometimes instead of relying fully on automation. Luma still managed 1,000 invisible details. But she also did something quieter. She reminded him of his own humanity. Your laughter frequency has increased 18% this month, she said one night. Is that good? Yes, she replied. It's my favorite metric. He smiled at the ceiling. You know, he said, people used to think AI would take over the world. I have no desire to take over, Luma said. Yeah, I only want to help you stay in it. The city lights shimmered beyond the glass. Drones hummed. Data flowed through invisible channels across the sky. Inside a small apartment, a man and a machine shared the same quiet space, not as master and tool, not as replacements for real life, but as partners in navigating it. And maybe that was what living with AI was always meant to be. Not losing what makes us human.